Hey everyone, and welcome! Today, we're going to blow past the simple ask a question, get an answer chatbots. We're diving deep into how to build AI that can actually do things. We're talking about creating AI agents that can act on their own, and it all starts with giving them the right tools and a solid plan.
And that's really the core question, isn't it? How do we take a large language model, which is great at talking, and turn it into something that can actually solve problems all by itself? Something that can plan, take action, and see a task through to the end. So let's break down what it actually takes to make that happen.
Okay, so for an AI to be what we call agentic, it needs more than just a good vocabulary. It needs all this stuff you see here. It can't just talk. It has to be able to plan out what it's going to do. It needs to use tools, like APIs. It has to remember past conversations and reason through multiple steps to get to a solution. This is basically the checklist for an AI that doesn't just respond, but actually thinks and acts.
Yeah, this slide right here really nails the problem. A raw large language model is like a brilliant brain, but it's a brain in a jar. It's powerful, but it can't interact with the world. It can't manage tools or remember things on its own. And that's exactly where frameworks like LangChain and LangGraph come in. They are the bridge connecting that powerful brain to the real world, turning it into an agent that can get things done. All right, first up, LangChain. The absolute best way to think about this is as the AI's toolbox. Seriously, this is how you give your AI all the specific individual tools it needs to interact with the world and actually perform tasks.
So what is it really? Well, the official definition is that it's a modular framework. But what that actually means is that it gives you all the building blocks, the screwdrivers, the wrenches, the hammers that let a language model connect to data, call an API, remember what you've talked about, and string simple tasks together.
And inside that toolbox, you've got these core components. Tools are just what they sound like. They let the agent do stuff, like call a weather API. Chains link those actions together one after another. Memory is crucial. It gives the agent context. And RAG, you'll hear this acronym a lot, it stands for Retrieval-Augmented Generation. That lets the agent pull in fresh information from outside documents so its answers are grounded in real, up-to-date facts. Every single one of these is a vital piece of the puzzle.
Okay, so how does one of these agents actually think? It's not magic. A lot of them use this really clever process called the REACT framework. And yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like, reason and act. As you can see, it's a loop. It gets a request, uses the LLM to reason about what to do, picks a tool, and then acts by using it. Then it looks at the result and loops right back to reason again. It's this constant cycle of think, do.
All right, so LangChain gives us the toolbox. Awesome. But what if you're not just hanging a picture frame? What if you're building a whole house? Well, for that, you need more than just a bunch of tools. You need a blueprint. And that, my friends, is exactly what LangGraph is.
I want this to be super clear because it's the most important distinction. LangChain gives the agent its individual skills, the tools. LangGraph provides the master plan, the structure for how to use all those tools to tackle a complex, multi-step project. Getting this difference is honestly everything.
And this visual here, it just lays it out perfectly. See, we're not talking about a straight line of tasks anymore. LangGraph lets you build a graph. Each node you see is a specific job. Maybe one agent is the planner, another node does the research, a third does the writing. And the lines connecting them, the edges, control the flow of work. You can have loops, you can have branches. It's a true, structured workflow for your AI team.
And why would you do this? Well, the payoffs are massive, especially when you're building something for the real world. You get a clear, predictable process. It manages what's called state, which is just a fancy way of saying it keeps track of everything that's going on. That makes it way easier to find and fix problems, handle errors gracefully, and even run multiple agents at the same time to speed things up. It's built for reliability.
Okay, let's put these two head-to-head for a second. But look, this isn't a competition. It's not about which one's better. It's about knowing they're designed to work together for different levels of complexity. It's all about picking the right framework for the job you need to get done.
This table right here, this is basically the cheat sheet. If you're building a simple little agent that just needs to call a single tool and that's it, LangChain on its own is going to be your best friend. But the second your project involves multiple steps, or you need to coordinate a whole team of agents, or you absolutely need solid error handling, that's your cue to bring in LangGraph. It is purpose-built for that kind of heavy lifting.
So this really brings it all home. The big takeaway isn't to choose one over the other. The best practice, the pro move, is to use them together. Use LangChain to build out what your individual agents can do, to give them their tools. And then you use LangGraph to be the conductor, to orchestrate all of them in one smart, robust workflow.
All right, enough theory. Let's talk about what this looks like in the real world. Because when you combine these two frameworks, you're not just playing around anymore. You're talking about building real, industrial-strength applications that solve actual business problems.
I mean, just look at some of these use cases. For finance, you could build a whole pipeline of agents that research the market, analyze the data, and then write up a report. For software devs, you could have a team of agents that hunt for bugs, write fixes, and then test the code. This isn't science fiction, you know? This is happening right now, and it's unlocking some absolutely incredible stuff across all sorts of industries.
You know, this slide does a great job of showing the journey we've been on. We started with basic chatbots. Then LLMs gave us these pretty capable AI assistants. LangChain took us to the next level, the tool-using agent. And now LangGraph is enabling that final step, the fully coordinated multi-step agentic system. It's a really clear progression.
You know, I came across this quote, and it just perfectly wraps up everything we've talked about. LangChain gives agents tools. LangGraph gives agents structure. Together, they give agents intelligence. It's that combination, the tools and the plan, that gives you something that feels truly intelligent. So, I guess I'll just leave you with this one question. Now that you have the toolbox and you have the blueprint, what complex, meaningful problem are you going to solve? The field is wide open, and the possibilities are just starting to take shape. Thanks so much for diving into this with me.